All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to talk about the budget builder. That is the lesson that we are on, and I can't wait to get started. We're going to cover what a zero-based budget is and why we kind of want to go with that type of budget, and then we're going to cover how. That's the why and the how, okay? So let me tell you a story. My husband used to be in a cop in the Air Force, and he used to have to get up super early, and they would all get there at 4 a.m. And so all the cops for the base would get there, and they'd all line up in formation, and their flight chief would walk back and forth, giving them their assignments. So one person would go be in the patrol car or several patrol cars. Somebody would go man the gate, and then somebody else would need to go man the armory, and then they would continue giving out the assignments every day based on what the needs were with the manpower and the needs were for the base that day, right? So each person got a job. And that's exactly what we're going to do with your money. So let's go ahead and get into it. A zero-based budget first of all, a budget is just telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. That's from John Maxwell. And that really just tells us exactly what we need to know. We really want to know, we want to tell it exactly what to do instead of just wondering, I thought I made more money than this. I thought I had money, right? Where did it all go, right? And so we're going to trade that. And then that's what a budget is. And then a zero-based budget. That is a little bit different in that what we're doing is we're taking your income, we're subtracting your expenses, and then after that little equal sign, we're going to come up with the number 0. So that doesn't necessarily mean that there's $0 in your bank account, because I know that kind of scares you. It might scare you. It scares me. What it means is that every dollar is going to have a job, right? And we're going to get to 0 on purpose instead of on accident. Right? A lot of times you get to the end of the month and you're at 0. But this time we're going to do it on purpose and according to your goals. Right? So, that being said, creating this budget is very simple, but it's going to take practice. So I'm going to give you the steps here, but I want you to understand that your budget's going to be different every month, that it's going to take a few months to kind of get all of your expenses figured out and really understand what your footprint is, what your financial footprint is, right? So you might give yourself some grace. It usually takes clients about 3 months before they get to where they're feeling more confident that their budget really reflects their life, right? Okay, so I want you to give yourself grace. Raise your hand and say, I will give myself grace. Okay, good job. Okay, now the steps to creating the budget. Like I said, this is simple, but it's going to take practice. It's going to take practice to make it a habit and to make you good at it. The first thing is you're going to just look at your income. You're going to look at your income and add it all up. What do we bring home every month? And I do mean bring home. So after taxes, after deductions, after all of that stuff, what do you bring home? That's your net income. We're going to add it all up. We're going to look at that number. We're going to celebrate because this is the best part. Say, look at all the money I have. And please do take a minute and say, I make a lot of money. I'm very blessed, right? Let's just do that. We are all. If you live right now in America, you're one of the richest 1% in the history of the world, okay? So I know it may not feel like it all the time, but let's just take a moment and rest in that, okay? So after you get your income, then you're going to go through and list every single expense that you can find in your brain. Get it all out. Everyone that's in your brain, everyone that's in your account, everything. We're not going to judge it yet. We're just going to get it all out there, right? So we're going to list everything that we have had in the past, and then we're going to think about, okay, coming up for the next month, what are some special things? You know, if it's summer, is it vacation? If it's Christmas, is it Christmas? If it's back to school expenses, maybe it's a trip for spring break. Whatever it is, go ahead and make sure you list everything that's going to cost money. Other things, you might have quarterly taxes, or you might have insurance that comes up once or twice a year, all kinds of stuff like that. So just get all of them out. The best thing you can do is get it out of here and onto paper. Reduces anxiety, helps you create a plan out of the mess that's going on in there, right? Okay, so you get all your expenses. And then what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize. Obviously, you know the most important thing that you need is food, shelter, and transportation, right? Those are the top bills that you're going to have usually. They're going to be the most expensive. So you have your food, which does not mean eating out, but it means food, groceries that you need to fill your family's belly so that they stay alive. You have your car, which while the car payment is going to go under your debt, you're going to obviously have to put gas in it, and you have to cover it with insurance. Usually you need those things, right? To get your kids to school, to get to your job. That's a necessary expense. And then obviously your house, your mortgage, your utilities, which by utilities, I mean power and electric, the things that you need to live, right? Those are your most important ones. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and decide. After that money comes out, okay, this is what I have left. What are the other things that are important to me? Probably you might have a phone, right? You might have to have medical insurance. There's all these other things. Those are the next tier. Then we can get down to things that are maybe a little more personal and things like Netflix or things like getting your hair done or whatever, things like that, if we have enough room left in the budget, right? But what we want to do first, before we really do that, is make sure that we understand what our financial goals are. So if you haven't done it, go back to the lesson on Start With Why and get your dream, figure out what your financial goals are, figure out what your dreams are. And so right now, you might have a specific goal of saving money, baby step 1, to $1,000, or you might be needing to get out of debt, or you might be in baby step 3 and you want to get that emergency fund fully funded. Those are your goals, so we really want to put as much of that income that's left after we got the needs, right, there before we really start getting to the wants, because these are really important steps that we really want to get through as quickly as we possible. So we want to be really focused on getting those. And then maybe we have a few want items left over based on our goals, based on the communication we've had with our partner, and all of that kind of stuff, okay? So that's what you do. You write your income, you list out all your expenses, then you prioritize them, and then you get to 0 based on your goals. Is it more important for you to get out of debt than you to get your hair done every month? Maybe, maybe. Is it more important for you that your family is covered for 3 to 6 months based if there's an emergency than for you guys to go out to eat? It's something that you really have to have a gut check and you have to get through, okay? So so like I said, you're going to get to 0 based on your goals: savings, debt, college funds, vacations, all that kind of stuff. And when it comes to things like vacations, go ahead and check out the module about sinking funds, because that's where we're going to go ahead and start funding those things. So we can teach about that and you can learn about that. So what did we learn today? We learned what a zero-based budget is. We learned that we're going to give every dollar a job. We're going to tell our money where to go. And we learned that it's actually a 4-step, pretty simple process to creating the budget, but we're going to give ourselves grace as we put it in place, because it's going to take time to get it perfect and get it right, okay? And so I just want to tell you that I used to be so stressed out. The end of the month would come and I would be out of money and people would still expect to eat. And my son would look like a surfer because I'm like, oh, I don't have any money left for your haircut. So, and you know, coming from all of us being military background, it stressed me out a little bit, okay? So I used to stress and I just would be like, well, I guess we're just going to have to either use a credit card or go without, and you're going to have to look like a surfer and everybody's eating peanut butter and jelly. And that would really stress me out. Or I would be out of gas and I would just be so stressed out. And moving to the budget this way, everything is funded. Do you know how good that feels? I know there is money set aside for gas. It's in my safe, right? I know there is money set aside for groceries, and I've planned it so that I will have money throughout the month. I've got haircut money set aside. I've got all of this stuff set aside. I know everything is covered. I don't have to check account balances because I know that I've allotted and I've planned for everything that's important to us. And that is a game changer, my friends. Having that security, having that peace, being able to tell your money where to go is a game changer, and I can't wait to hear how you do. So what I want you to do is two things. I want you to post below. Tell us what your final budget item is. What item got you to 0? After you took the most important needs, you got some wants, you got your goals. What's the last thing? What's the last thing that you put on your budget? We just want to hear from you. And then the second thing, do your budget. I want you to do your budget. Like, go through these modules, get your budget, finish it, let us know how it goes, ask any questions, and get ready for your monthly coaching calls. We can't wait to talk to you, walk you through it. We're going to do this together, and it's going to be a game changer.